We really didn't talk too much about the measurements, becquerels. That's 1 disintegration per second is a becquerel.
A becquerel.
I kind of mentioned the Curie,
Mm-hmm.
which is based off the radium-226, and it has 37 billion disintegrations per second. That's what the Curie is based off of. You'll hear the Sievert.
Yes,
The
Sieverts.
Sievert has to do with your actual effects on your body. That's what the Sievert and the counts per minute are measuring. Okay, that's your radiation
Mm-hmm.
versus becquerel is the radioactivity.
Mm-hmm.
Sieverts, counts per minute, that's your radiation. That's your alpha,
Okay.
beta, gamma. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see here. There was on measurements here. Okay, exposure. I'm sure you've heard of absorbed dose, right?
Yes.
Absorbed dose.
Yes.
Well, you got absorbed dose, which deals with basically your external exposure. Deals the unit is rad. It's a rad, RAD. 100 rads is equal to 1 joule per kilogram. There's
Mm-hmm.
that joule again.
Yeah,
Okay,
there
it's
it
all
is.
based on this
That's
energy.
there are those
So
jewels
it's
again.
so it's the amount of energy that is put into a mass. That's 1 joule per kilogram, right? Then you have your dose rate. If time is an issue, that's your dose rate. So if you're in it for a period of time, then that's your dose rate. Um, the issue comes with the difference between internal exposure and external exposure. And in that 2001 Kiev symposium, you hear the pro-nuclear people saying, well, there's no difference between internal exposure and external exposure. It's the same. We find out many decades later that that simply is not true, because when we're talking about internal exposures of organs, you're talking about the equivalent dose or the effective dose for the whole body. Um, we know that alpha radiation is worse internally than beta or gamma because we have what's known as weighting factors or like a quality factor. Okay, so what this means is that you have to convert rad to rem. Okay, and that'll be rem, which is rentgen equivalent man. I know it's a lot. It's crazy. There's so much to this,
There's
and it's difficult to
way
understand.
too much, but
But
at least we're trying.
rentgen equivalent man will be what your actual dose is, what you're getting. Okay. Um,
Oh, okay.
so it has to be converted from rad to rem. That's how absorbed dose works. You got your range, your deposition through the range, area of irradiation, and the density of the means. Okay, and then you have to take rad and convert it to rem. So to make that conversion, alpha, beta, gamma are different. They have these quality factors. Okay, so alpha,
Right.
to get the rem of 1 rad of alpha, you have to times that by 20
Oh, wait, I had the little
to get
radioactivity just to show
right,
everybody again the alpha, beta,
right,
gamma,
alpha, beta,
and
gamma. So
the.
so to get 1 rad of beta or gamma, it's a 1-to-1 conversion.
Okay.
So it's the same. So rad and rem of beta and gamma will be the same. But for alpha, it won't be the
There it
same.
is.
You have to take the rad and then times that by 20, then you'll get your rem. So we know that alpha is worse internally because, as I explained earlier, it only travels a millimeter in the air. So it deposits that energy in that space. Well, when it's internal, it's doing that right next to your cells. It's depositing that large amount of energy right next to it. That's where the damage comes from. So we know that alpha is worse internally than it is externally. Do you understand that point?
Yes.
Because the way it travels, the way it deposits its energy.
Yes.
Okay, so you have those quality factors, those weighting factors that proves that it is not the same externally as it is internally. They say it's called the linear hypothesis. Okay, and this is kind of widely used, but it's not accepted by everybody. And they say that 25 sieverts will cause one cancer. 25 sieverts. Okay, but 3 sieverts over your whole body gives you a 50% chance of dying within a few weeks. 3 sieverts versus 25. So 25
That's
sieverts will
overwhelming.
cause cancer, but 3 sieverts over your whole body will cause you a 50% chance of dying within the next couple weeks.
That's a bit overwhelming.
So how could you ever, how could you ever get cancer if you die? If you get 20, because it's cumulative.
You're dead.
It's not all in one bang. It's
Right.
over your entire life. Your exposure adds up. It's cumulative. You get one dose this time, it adds to this next dose the next time, and it keeps on adding and adding and adding. It's all cumulative. It adds up at the end of your life.
Okay.